Hello everyone, it's BG, and whoa, today we got these manga spoilers out here. It's chapter 191, titled Dabi, Hawks, and Endeavor. So last week we left off with the reveal, well I wouldn't say reveal, but we had Dabi show up at the very end, and well it had us all on the edge of our seat. We had no idea where it was going to go next. So now we have our answer. Let's get into it. Endeavor's eyesight is blurry, so he can barely see Dabi, but he recognizes his voice and mentions something about killing Snatch. Dabi says there are more important things to talk about since they have the opportunity. Hawks tries to buy a little time, but Dabi tells them both to chill. He doesn't expect to be able to win if the high spec couldn't. Though despite this, he still charges in to defeat the two until Miruko, who had been watching the news and saw everything, shows up. So, in my opinion, let's be real here. Since they're having Endeavor's eyesight be blurred, they're not allowing him to see Dabi's face, it kind of implies to me that they're just giving more and more evidence about the whole "I'm your son" thing. They're really hiding it. They're really hyping it up, and they're giving more and more evidence because they're protecting him. They're not really allowing him to. They're not allowing the reveal to happen. I feel that if the reveal wasn't, the reveal, they wouldn't have a reason to hide him from Endeavor. Not to mention, the other thing is about what we just read. I would personally like to see that fight, but from the sounds of it, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. I think it's going to get stopped right before it starts. So that's a little bit of a letdown, but let's see. Dabi is annoyed, but decides to retreat, asking for Ujiko-san to help him out. He says to Endeavor that he looks forward to the next time they'll talk, and ask him not to die in the meantime, referring to him as Inji Todoroki. This right here, this is another thing that kind of implies to me that indeed it's his son, because there's no other way he should know his name. Well, because it's not common knowledge. These secret identities are not common knowledge to the average man. So after the whole incident, Hawks finds Dabi and is pissed that he had lied about a bunch of stuff. Apparently this was all supposed to go down tomorrow rather than the current day, and on the coast rather than the city, and most especially the Nomu that was supposed to show up wasn't supposed to be that strong. Dabi says he changed his mind and wanted to test out the high end instead. He goes on to say that it worked out since Hawks got what he wanted, which was to test out number 1. Hawks agrees, but doesn't like that Dabi is one who could break promises. So this implies that there's a sense of familiarity between Hawks and Dabi, and it's quite interesting because it sounds like the whole thing was set up. And it being set up is, well, actually, I'm not gonna lie, I should have seen it coming, but it wasn't obvious to me when I read this. But now it actually does kind of explain why Hawks was so chill. Like, he wasn't really freaking out like Endeavor was. Endeavor was very into it, very on edge. But if you pay attention to Hawks, he's very calm, very chill about the whole situation. Not once do you see him freaking out over like Endeavor. So that does imply that does kind of give evidence that yes, it was set up. It says he goes on to say that. Excuse me. I just read that part. It said Dabi retorts that he just became number 2, so of course they're not going to trust him so quickly. So they were testing him too. The two go back and forth about what trust means. Hawks doesn't want to lose the trust of the people, and Dabi says the Villain League, needs to build trust with Hawks. In the end, Dabi leaves and says it's too soon for Hawks to meet the boss, but he will contact him again soon. So, it's from the sounds of it, Dabi is like a liaison between the League of Villains and Hawks. So Hawks is indeed a member of the League of Villains, but it seems he's a double agent. Like, he seems like he's working for both sides. I don't know which one he sides with more, but we'll see, because there's a little bit more here. It says, flashback, 2 officials are asking Hawks to infiltrate/join the League of Villains, and he's confused by this, as Gran Torino and the others are part of the search team, and the officials ask him where he heard that, as it isn't important information. Well, public information, my bad. Now, the thing about this is that it kind of goes further with that, not theory, but that traitor thing because there's no other way that the info could have gotten out unless it was leaked from the inside. So at this point, in my opinion, that kind of points to the traitor being one of the heroes instead of one of the students. So that's also just more evidence to support that. We're getting a lot of reveals in this chapter. It seems a lot of like important, minor and important information. So continuing, but basically they want Hawks to go in because if they want to be rid of the League, they'll need much more info. This is something they've ascertained after the whole Camino incident, especially in regards to the modified humans. They know this isn't just the work of All for One alone. They want to lay all the secrets of the League bare, and Hawks asks what he's supposed to do about their victims while they're investigating infiltrating. So that indeed does show that Hawks is indeed a caring person. He does care about society and the people he's protecting. So to even ask what's going to happen to people who get in their way. And then we go back to the whole thing about All for One not being the only one making the no moves. That's quite interesting because that makes it sound like he supplies the quirks. Someone else is the one who does all the meshing together. And I think we're gonna find out who that is during this arc. And that's actually low-key exciting because it's like I was not expecting this because from what I could gather, All for One wasn't more than enough to be smart. He was smart enough, and he had the resources to create these no moves. That's what I thought, at least. But since that wasn't the case. But anyway, they tell him to think of it as a long-term goal, and that there isn't anyone else who can do the job. Hawks is thinking of this as he goes to visit Endeavor in the hospital, and as he goes into his room, he inwardly apologizes. Meanwhile, Dabi is elsewhere and remembers Snatch, and comments that if he thinks about it too much, he'll go crazy. So they try to say, like the Hero Association tries to tell Hawks that, yeah, you're gonna hurt some people on the way, but it comes with the job. Don't worry, don't think too much about it. As for Dabi remembers that he indeed did kill Snatch, and he does feel remorse for doing it. He didn't like it. So that shows that Dabi isn't pure evil like the rest of the the rest of the League isn't even pure evil, but he's not just evil for the sake of it like the rest of the League of Villains. He actually cares about what he's done, and he wants to make up for it. That gives him a more depth, and I do like it. It makes him more of a character instead of just a cool-looking dude with cool powers. So, all in all, this sounds like it's going to be an amazing chapter, and I implore all of you to check it out. And while you're at it, you should check out my review tomorrow, because I'll be doing one. Well, it might not be tomorrow, but it'll be soon. My review will come out soon, and that'll give a lot more concrete details about this chapter. If you want to check that out, I'll put the link in this. I'll put the link for that in this video later, once it's up. And while you're at it, you should also like and subscribe. And like I always say, see you later.